Aloha and welcome to Talk Story ASMR. First of all, I would like to dedicate this first video of mine to Laura, who is also known as Wise Woman Whispers, for her encouragement for me to make this video and just get involved in the ASMR world. I'm huge on whispers and clinkles and tinkles, and you'll see up over the fairy castle that I'll be doing today that I have a clinkly lamp over there. So when you hear the clinkles from time to time, it's just the wind. Try and give you a view from my house, looking out. Lots of bird song and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if my neighbor turns on his Harley Davidson or my grass man shows up. Well, I'm trying to film this video and I'm very new at this and maybe a little shaky, but I wanted to start with the fairy castle. I'm going to be doing all kinds of photos and videos from adventures I've had all around the world. But I want to start in my own backyard because I created this fairy castle for my actually she's 9, my 9-year-old, nope, she's 8. My 8-year-old granddaughter, Alexa, she just turned 8 a couple weeks ago, and I had been in the stores looking for, toys to give her, and everything was just plastic and fake and contrived. I don't know how you feel about that, but I really felt like, oh, I want to give her something that's a keepsake and a treasure. So I went to TJ Maxx, and on their clearance rack was this Melissa and Doug castle. It's a wooden castle, and if you know Melissa and Doug products, they're very sturdy, they're very old-fashioned, they're made the right way. Well, normally I couldn't afford this castle, but normally retails for $100 and it was on clearance for $30. So I went ahead and scooped it up, and that kind of started about 5 days of just going to our local craft store, Ben Franklin, and Walmart and Target, and just anywhere where I could find stickers and gems of any kind and fairy items. And I did some bartering along the way and was able to find some good clearance items. So I worked on it probably steadily for 5 days straight, and I kept adding more and more gems. So this is the fairy castle of probably 10,000 gems, if not more. I don't know. I can't count them. So let me take you on a tour of Alexa's fairy castle. I'd like to go into more of the details of the castle because it's quite fun. I've had a few gems fall off, so I have to find them and replace them. I see some of them. Oh, there goes a helicopter. You know, when you're videotaping, all of life's interruptions come in. It's kind of like when you're trying to take a nap. You try to take a nap and someone starts hammering or beeping their horn, or the lawn care people come and start weed eating. It's the way life is, isn't it? So we'll go back into this fairyland. We actually live in a place where a lot of people like to come visit. If you haven't guessed already, I live in Hawaii, and we just happen to live in a very beautiful area that people want to see via helicopter. So I can't fault them for wanting to do that. So here is Alexa's fairy castle, and there's a lot of great amenities that were already built into the Melissa and Doug castle that I just kind of took advantage of. So I'm going to go to this first tower, and I just went on Amazon and bought a pack of very 10 cheap fairies, and there's only one here because my granddaughter had a fairy birthday party and each child made their own fairy garden, which I will show some of those pictures after this video. I'll put some pictures on with it. So there's Tinkerbell, or what I thought looked like Tinkerbell, and she's sitting just on a little roof line there, and there's a secret room, and it says, always believe something wonderful is about to happen. And then you'll see I put jewels on either side of that on the wood, and then I took just a paperweight that I had sitting around, and I made a cute little table. A little magic can take you a long way. And then I put in some of these glass ornaments that I made a while back. They're not showing up very well, but they're very beautiful and sparkly. I just made those up probably 10 years ago, and I just keep them. And I have two little mice sitting, the little gossips of the castle. They're just enjoying their time up there, watching everything and talking about it. Cheep, 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 cheep. Cheep, 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 cheep. Yeah. You'll see the embellishments I put on, which include these little rose pieces and glass beads. So I have to say, my granddaughter has already played with this castle, and she's got such little hands that I can't reach in and get everything. You'll see the two little fairies I put up on the window guarding the room. And then every day holds new magic. And here's another room, and then of course with fairies come woodland creatures. There's a couple fairies sitting by the window, and then I'll zoom in so you can see the little animals sitting there. And it says, once in a while, right in the middle of an ordinary life, love gives us a fairy tale. And I embellished with just some more jewels and little flower. I had a little flower bracelet with these pink flowers here with jewels in them, and I took the old bracelet and cut it up. It's fun to use old jewelry in that way. And then we have a bunny and a deer on a jeweled mat looking into the room, just resting, because there's a lot of rest in the fairy castle. And then we have butterflies all over, butterflies and jewels. And then I got this beautiful 3D sticker, and I got a bunch of them and stuck them all over the castle just to give it that look of the woodlands coming in. And I really love this castle because these two towers, 1 and 2, they are removable, and they have a little drawbridge there that goes between them, which of course I had to embellish. But my granddaughter can move those around or take them off if she desires. Here is a little welcome in here in this little tower. And then the little love tower has a little lamb praying. Let's see if we can get in there and show you that. Isn't that cute? With jewels all around. And then there's the sign, make your own magic. And then down here, I just took another paperweight and I put on some shiny paper on the bottom. So it just kind of looks like a little magic ball there. I don't know. Thought that was awesome. Here's some more of that 3D stickers that look like trees. And then here's the owl alcove, as I've called it. It's about magic moments and just believing. So that's a lot of fun. I even have some LED tea lights in some of the alcoves, as you can see, just to give it a little bit of fun. And then this feature I really love. It says, leave a little sparkle wherever you go. And what I did was, it's a little bit of a hidden door. And I put all the fairy treasures in here, all the bottles of fairy treasures, and hid them in there. And there's a little sign under there that says, make a wish. And then we go up here, and I actually put a picture of my daughter, my granddaughter, and myself. It's just like a little homage that Grandma made it. And all you need is faith, trust, and a little pixie dust. Dream and never lose your sense of wonder. Here's another tower that says make a wish. And there's a little pink elephant in there, which my granddaughter really loves. It's amazing what you think they're going to love or not love, but they end up loving things that you're not sure of. I put a little fairy sign there. More embellishments. And this is one of my finds. It was a fairy, and she's got a little bit of a tear in her mesh wing right here. You can see it, and I put little stickers on it to cover it. But no, I think all the fairies in this castle have broken wings, which is okay, because I tell my granddaughter, you know, we all have some sort of broken wing, but it doesn't mean we can't fly. It just means we have to be really creative in our life and figure it out, right? So I want her to have a good fantasy life, but I also want her to learn how to deal with her issues and problems and cares of the world, because there are effective ways to do that where you don't have to live in stress and anxiety. You can live in a beautiful world of peace and joy, happiness, love. There's so many things that you take hold of, but as it says on the stairwell, you just have to believe. So there's more messages here. Never stop dreaming. Just believe, and magic is all around. And here's another one of these paperweights that I had around from old craft days, and I just took a glittery butterfly and I put it on the bottom, and it shows up through, and then these little hearts, I did the same thing. I just took paper and covered them, and then I glued them onto the floor. And then on this floor, I don't know if you can see it, but I Mod Podged it just to add protection and also to give it a little glitter. Added some glitter to that. Over here in the corner, there's a couple more fairies, and I just wallpapered the wood there. And I did the stairs, and I'm going to stand up for that. Believe, leave a little sparkle wherever you go. Magic is in your heart. And I just want pretty things and a pair of fairy wings. And make a wish. And then we have another tower over here, and there's a fairy guarding outside. And there's some more treasure. And I just used a little tea light, old tea light holder that's got little shells on it. I use those for the fairy treasure. So there we go. It's so pretty. I made a little water feature for my granddaughter, and it's completely removable, and she can move it around and figure out how she wants it. I want her to use her imagination. So much fun. And then we come over here, and up on the drawbridge is a a fairy that's contemplating life. Let's see if we can get her. Once upon a time, and here's Alexa's drawbridge, and I have to kind of give it a little start because we live in a very humid area. So it opens up, it has a little manual thing to open up the drawbridge. And then the drawbridge is decorated, magic is in your heart, and then there's a couple more hearts, but they're removable. And it just goes back where we saw the fairy into the courtyard. So she can use that feature. So I'll just roll that up. I really like that drawbridge. I think it adds a lot to the castle. And then lots of embellishments. I tried to get as sparkly as I could. In the midst of everything, it was like I became addicted to the sparkles, and I couldn't stop. And I just bought a piece of greenery, and I had some tinsel lights from my son's wedding last year, so I used those on there. And then at the back of the castle, I created a little gnome village, because the gnomes live where the fairies are, but I don't think they live in the castle. They live outside. They like to live more in their little hovels, and they love to garden, and so they would do that right outside the castle walls, I believe. And then it looks like the greenery is just growing in around the castle, which it should be, because fairies live in the forest, and greenery should be all around them. And then we come to the end, and just wanted to show you the back side of the castle, because I'll take this down. I did sign it, Love Grandma 2019, and then I left my granddaughter a message, no one is too old for fairy tales. And that's kind of an homage to Grandma, because I may be old, but I'm not too old for fairy tales. And so there we go. We're looking into that little room. I love how she can get her little fingers in there and just play with everything. She was very excited about this. It really meant a lot to her. Here's the other side of that little drawbridge between the towers. Just had a lot of fun, you know. If you're like me, you collect a lot of craft items throughout the years, and then when you need them, you just get in your boxes and start looking around, and it's amazing how much stuff you have. And I think the one thing my daughter was most excited about was this mat. Oh, it's so translucent. It's actually a bath mat, and I bought it at Ross for, I think it was $4.99. I really, really love it. Makes some great noises when you put your hands through it like this. Of course, those of us in the ASMR community, we're all about those beautiful sounds. So I'm going to add a few more pictures, and I'm going to add a few pictures of my granddaughter's fairy party at the end too, so stick around. I may talk through the rest of the video, I'm not sure, or I might just put on some really sweet music with bird song, as you can hear the birds and the chimes here in my happy, peaceful home. The wind is blowing through the lovely trade winds of Hawaii. But if I don't talk anymore today and I just put on music, I just wanted to say mahalo and aloha for joining me. And thank you, Laura Wise Women Whispers, for being such an inspiration and just such a beautiful person all around. I really appreciate the friendship that we've been developing over these months. And I just say thank you. And I hope everyone enjoys this. If you do, leave your comments, and please subscribe and follow me. There'll be many more videos to come. I have taken literally at least 1 million pictures in my lifetime, and they're all just high quality and beautiful of everything you can imagine. So I invite you to join me looking at those, and I will talk over those videos, and I'll be adding in a lot more sounds and noises, crinkles and tingles and all kinds of things. So I hope that you enjoy this. I wanted it to be a little bit different from other ASMR channels, and it will be, because I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I think this is the way I want to go. So I just thank you all. Thank you for supporting me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Leave a comment, and I say ahui ho. That's what we say in Hawaii. That means until we meet again. Aloha for Talk Story ASMR.